finding solutions for the overall performance and so on, right? So there's an element of collaboration and support as well. Okay, so the eighth trait is diversity and inclusion. So we're talking about, it's not diversity. It could be in many forms, in gender, male, female, could be race and different backgrounds and so on. So everybody will bring their own values and strength into the team, and each of them is valued, right? They will bring different skills, viewpoints also, right? And this will then drive creativity, innovation in problem solving. Because if you have only a group of people who are all from same background, same skills, same viewpoints, then there won't be much of creativity, innovation. So everybody looking for the same lines also, right? Then there won't be much of that creativity, innovation, right? Number 9, continuous learning and improvement. So it means that nobody is perfect in every area. So there's always continuous learning and improvement, the ongoing commitment to reflect, learn, adapt, and improve processes, skills, results, and so on. Making sure everybody's committed to learning new skills, committed to learning new processes, acquiring new knowledge, so that they know how to, they can reflect, learn, and adapt, and improve, and so on, ensuring the team remains agile and competitive. Right? Number 10, high engagement. So for a high performance team, they have high engagement within them. Members are highly engaged, participate actively, and are committed to team success. So there's no like a few, say, a group or team of 10, 5 of them work very hard. The other teams can't be bothered, or do the minimum. Then it's not a high engagement team, right? So everybody is involved, everybody is engaged. Everybody participate actively, and are committed to team success, right? And they always give above and beyond what is promised, or above and beyond the objectives. Okay, the 11th trait is adaptability and resilience. Right. So always there will be challenges, there will be changes around us, whether in the market changes, the demographic changes, so that high performance teams will always adapt to the changes. Right. They will respond effectively to the changes. If there are difficulties in terms of business challenges, like new competitors, environmental changes and so on, they will able to overcome those challenges, right, and remain focused on work under pressure as well, right? Adaptability and resilience. Yeah. So it's the 11th traits, right? So it does not mean that when a group of people come together and form a team, they will have all these traits, but this can be developed and reinforced over time. It can be cultivated, reinforced, so that in the medium to long term, they will be able to function as a high performance team, and also then they're able to achieve the results, superior results, foster innovation, drive organizational success, and so on. Right. So, like I was saying, it does not. When we talk about the second part of this presentation, you will see that when a group of people come together, in the beginning they seem to work, and then after that there will be a lot of conflicts among them, due to misunderstanding and so on. But that can be resolved, and then if the team leaders then cultivate and reinforce these traits, then they're able to achieve success. Okay, that's the traits of a high performance team. Now let's look at what is the benefit or impact of high performance team, business impact of high performance team. One, if they can work together as a high performance team, they will increase productivity and efficiency, right? The team can collaborate seamlessly. They leverage each other's strength. At the same time minimizing weaknesses. Some members bring their own strength, and also some of them have weaknesses as well. So that means they can work collaboratively, leading to optimized output, streamline workflows, and reduce operational waste and so on. So one outcome or one benefit of having a high performance team is increased productivity and efficiency. Okay. Second impact is enhanced innovation and creativity, right? When a group of team members come together with diverse skills and different perspectives, then within them they can foster environment where they come with new innovative solutions and creative ideas, right? The opposite of that is, let's say a team comes together, each of them has the same set of skills, they come from the same background, same perspective, then the ideas they come will be always the same, right? They won't have different ideas, different solutions, right? So having a diverse team, skills and perspective can bring new ideas, creative ideas, and driving continuous improvement and adapt to a rapidly changing business landscape. Okay. Then, okay, I will quickly go through it. Having high performance team will also translate into superior decision making and problem solving, right? So when they are functioning well, they high performance teams, they can make more informed decisions and solve problems effectively because they have open communication and trust, and also in collective intelligence as well. All right, that's one. Number four, higher employee engagement and retention. Again, if a team performs together well, then very likely they will also stay together. They are engaged and also committed to the organization, meaning they will stay longer in the organization. Not if there are resignations or people leaving the organization, it will be lower, it will be minimized. All right, and also that means that the HR, the human resource people, they don't have to spend a lot of money on recruitment costs and things like that, right? So people will stay when they're satisfied, they're happy, and they see that there's high performance team. They are in a part of a high performance. Okay, I think my screen is hanging. All right, number 5, improve customer satisfaction. Sorry, let me go to this. I will look at the chat when.
Line is a bit lagging, Tana.
Sorry again.
Your line is a bit lagging. You guys are okay, If you guys are okay, type okay in the chat box. Ada a bit lagging tadi.
Okay. Is it better now?
Yeah. It's okay
Okay.
now.
Okay.
On and off lah, on and off.
Okay. I'll finish this section and look at the chat. Okay. So improve customer satisfaction and loyalty. Of course, when a team works together well, then they serve the customer, give the best to the customer, and you will have that achievement customer satisfaction and loyalty as well. All right. Number 6, sorry. A stronger organizational culture and collaboration. Earlier, remember, we have good communication. People have mechanism to resolve conflicts and so on. Then have a strong the organization of a stronger culture and collaboration as well, right? So they're able to break down silos and also work together from different departments, cross-functional collaboration, right? So it's not like my department and your department. So actually, it's like working together and coming together and working together, cross-functional collaboration, right? And seventh, of course, when you have a high performance team, when they work together, they will have higher financial outperformance, right? The financial result will be a lot higher than a team which is not functioning well. A team which is not in conflicts and continuous continuous fighting and silos and so on, then they will not have able to achieve financial performance in the long term. Maybe in 1 year they can, but in long term they will just fall apart, right? And also they will be able to outperform competitors and maintain a sustainable competitive advantage as well, right? Number 8, agility and resilience. So earlier we said when the market changes, when there are things around them change, there are uncertainty in the market, competitors, new competitors are coming, new products and services are coming in. They were able to adapt early. They are agile and resilient. They know how to respond to changes, manage disruptions, and seize new opportunities as well. Right, so that they're always agile and resilient to changes around them. Okay, so let me check at the Google chat at the moment. Any questions on this?
Ya, saya tengok dekat chat dulu lah. Kalau ada banyak.
Can I have? There's no question here, right, at the moment. Tak ada kan? Yeah. Okay. Can I have the attendance link, please? I think it's dropped. Okay. I think Mimi can actually drop this link again. I don't see any questions on the chat at the moment. Yeah. All right. Let me go to the presentation again. All right. When you get this slides, you will see what do you call this case studies, which you can read. So each of the case studies has this box, this box on the heading, so it's a case study. Right? All of them has it. So basically, let me just briefly tell you this, explain to you this Google's project Aristotle project in Google. So Google initiated this project to determine what makes a team effective, right? Determine to find out how a team can work effectively. Right, so they look at data from hundreds of teams and discover the key factors that drive high performance include this. Google identified 5 critical dynamics of a successful team, right? And some of them, if you heard my earlier part of the presentation, you will see it again here. All right. So this. All right. So what the first one, Google say, go back to this. Google identified 5 critical dynamics of a successful team, right? The first one, psychological safety. So it means that the team members feel safe to take risk and be vulnerable in front of each other. Meaning that if I'm a team member, I feel safe. I fail in my task or I made a mistake. I feel safe to say I made a mistake, right? I won't bashed out and ostracized and so on. I feel very safe to take the risk. Also, if shortcomings or failure, I will admit openly, and nothing will. I won't be in the trouble, right? And second trait here is dependability. Meaning members can reliably complete quality work on time. So it means that we can depend on each other to complete the work on time. So it means that it's not like say 10 team of 10 members. 3 of them will be slacking off, and then somebody else will have to do their work. Means they all contribute and reliably complete their work on time, quality work on time, right? So each of them can be dependable, right? And then also talk about structure and clarity. The roles, plans, and goals are very clear. So it means that if I'm a manager in this team, then I know what my roles are. I know what my responsibilities are, right? I know the team's plans, and also I know the team's goals very clearly, right? So that's the roles, plans, and goals, right? And also the word meaning here, work is personally important to team members means what I know, what I do in the organization, as regardless whether I'm a manager or executive, I know that my work is important for the team, right? And my contribution is important to the team as well, right? So I know that what I'm doing is meaningful in that context, right? And I also know that the impact here, I know that what I do, it matters to the team, and I also contributed to the team as well, right? I'm making an impact in the team and organization as well. I create changes as well, right? So if you follow these characteristics of the critical dynamics of successful team, there's a 5 that Google identified in Google, right? So it's applicable to other organizations, whether you are an advertising firm or a manufacturing firm, you know that these are important in the organization, right? Psychological safety, dependability, structure and clarity, meaning and impact, right? That's the Google's Project Aristotle, right? And okay, so by focusing on this dynamics or characteristic, Google optimized team performance, collaboration, innovation across the organization. Teams with high psychological safety outperform others demonstrating greater engagement and effectiveness. When you talk about psychological safety, companies which are coming with new products and services, they will have this, they try introduce, like say, test 10 product, maybe, only five will be successful. The other five, the market don't want them. It will be successful. So, but imagine if a team member come up with an idea for a product, and that product was not successful. The market don't want, customer don't want them. Then, if in a high performance team, although there's a failure, they feel safe to say that I failed, right? I didn't succeed, right? Because there's a psychological safety there. But if you read around companies like Google and Microsoft, they are very successful, of course. Yes, they also a lot of projects. Yes. Mimi, if you can make me a co-host also.
Yeah, I have.
Yeah. So teams, so that's the results, right? So this study by Google tells us that how a team works together, especially fostering psychological safety, matters more than who is on the team, right? So if there's psychological safety, then people will innovate. They will try new things, new ideas, and they know that if they fail, they won't be punished. They're safe, and they won't be mocked or rubbished and so on, right? That's Google's Project Aristotle. Right, time is 11:45, and I will when you download these slides, you can actually look at this BP Asia Pacific, another case study on building peer group high performing teams. Okay, so I will leave this for now. If I need, I'll come back. If you have time, you'll come back again. And then there's one. Okay, let's go to the time now. It's 10:46. All right, let's go to the second part of the presentation, which are frameworks for team effectiveness, right? So earlier when I shared the content of the workshop, there are two frameworks here. So the first one here is the Tuckman's team and group development model. All right. This, if this is introduced in 1965. It's quite old, but it still is valid. It's an idea or a framework, a model which is still been discussed and shared across companies, organizations. All right. So basically, let me see this. All right. So Tuckman's model says that a team will go through this five sequential stages, meaning forming, storming, norming, and performing. All right. 1, 2, 3, 4. Forming, and adjourning. Adjourning means, okay, after the forming, Tuckman then introduced another element called adjourning. Right. We'll go through that in a minute. Okay. So it's the whole thing. After forming, there's adjournment as well. All right. So let's look at the model. Okay. So when we talk about forming, this is forming where the team is being formed, coming together. Right? Let's say you want to implement a new project in your organization. So a group of people come from different departments. They're forming a group, a team, right? So this is where the forming stage occurs when team members first come together as a team, right? Let's say you're installing a new company-wide software, right? Involves everybody, includes HR, includes accounting, includes purchasing, includes the production team, everybody, right? So all this, the people from different departments are coming together, forming a team for this project. So now they're forming a team, all right? And always, as usual, always in the forming part, people are, they are new to each other, they know each other, they're very polite to each other, and actually it seems to be everybody's working together, right? Right. Then after some time, they will see conflicts due to misunderstanding and things like that. Then you see this stage where it's called storming. During the storming stage, teams discover teamwork is more difficult than they expected, meaning they have conflicts, they have misunderstanding, and it will come to the surface. In the forming stage, everybody seems polite and saying everybody's being nice, they tolerate each other and so on. It will come to a point they will storm. Storm means the storm that happens outside there during the rainy season. People will have this conflict, misunderstanding. They'll start arguments and fighting and so on, right? And then at this the point where the leader have to come and be the the problem solver and try to get everybody to see the common objectives, the common goals, and then move to the next stage, right? If they pass this storming stage, if the team successfully go to the next stage, then it will come in. But if they pass through and resolve that, then they will move to the norming stage. Okay. Once they come to the norming stage, that everything stabilized and so on, then they will be able to move to a performing stage where a team reaches the performing stage. It is functioning as a high performance team actually. So if they move from norming to performing, they're already moving towards high performance team already. All right. Then after performing is where adjourning happens. Right. Imagine earlier we said a group of people from different departments are coming together for a project to install new software in the company-wide software. Every department's involved, right? Brand new software. Now, after the project is completed, then adjourn. They break up the team where the required task is complete. Mean they go back to the original department, original unit, and then the team is closed down or doesn't exist anymore. The journey. So when Tuckman introduced this model, it had its four stage, right? Then subsequently he then introduced another stage, which is the journey where the team breaks down. Not it's break down, but it's break up and go back to the original task of say somebody's from the procurement department. He goes back to procurement department. And accounts people will go back to accounts and so on, right? So in this case, it's a temporary, you can say a project team, which once the project is done, the team doesn't exist anymore. All right, so that's the Tuckman's team and group development model. Okay, let's go to the next stage. So this next few pages just describes the stages. So the 5 stages will explain. Forming team members are introduced and begin to understand team's purpose, roles, and goals. At this stage, people are very polite, cautious, and heavily rely on the leader for direction. All right, and then and people are excited. There's and very anticipation where there's there's a new project in town in the company, and they're all excited to work together and implement the project, roll out the project. Right. In this case, the example we gave is a company-wide software installation. Right. Of course, they're excited and they anticipate a great project outcome, but they also uncertainty and lack of trust as well, because they come from different departments, different units. So they don't really trust each other yet, right? Because they just came together as a team, right? So there's a lack of trust as Lencioni just beginning to form. All right. So once this we call it what do you call this honeymoon period is over, then you will see conflicts arises over roles, responsibilities, and so on. Then people will start arguing and see, okay, that whose role is this, who takes responsibility for this, and then you will see the conflicts arising coming up, right? And people trying to assert themselves with their opinion, views, and struggle and so on. And you will pick power struggles. Who should take the lead? Who is who should be having a bigger say in this project and things like that. Yeah, and of course disagreements as well among the team members will happen, right? So at this stage, it's really critical for serving differences, right? But if it's not managed well, it can be a dysfunctional team, right? When you talk about the third section of this presentation, the title is the Lencioni's title is Dysfunction of a Team, right? So if these conflicts are not resolved at this level, this stage, then the team will become very dysfunctional, right? The entire project is going to be in trouble. Okay, but if this is managed well, right, the leader and all the facilitators manage this storming stage well, then they will then go into the norming stage, right? So at this norming stage, the team members begin to resolve conflicts, establish rules and norms for working together, right? And you know that if there's a conflict, how to resolve it? How do you resolve this conflict? Who do we go to have resolutions, things like that? At this stage, they develop trust and cohesion, and roles become clearer and collaborative improves. At this stage, people know what their role is, what and their responsibilities as well. Okay. And if this while going through the norming stage, it works well, then members start to feel they are part of a team, right? And at this from now on, productivity increases as the group becomes more organized and working together well. Okay. The fourth stage where after norming, then we can say at the norming stage, they're functioning well, they're doing well. All right. So if they continue doing so, everybody knows rules, they have everybody knows the responsibilities, they have a mechanism to resolve conflicts, they communicate well, understand each other's objectives and goals, and it's a diverse team as well, and respect each other and trust each other, then they will move into the performing stage. All right. At this performing stage, team operates a high level of effectiveness with strong collaboration and autonomy. Right. Autonomy is they function on their own. Members are motivated, trust each other, and focus on achieving shared goals. Right. So at the performing stage here is already a high performing team role, and here the leader's role shifts to delegating, supporting. The team is largely sufficient. So at this stage, performing stage, the leader just delegates out the role responsibilities, and then team members will work on their own, right, or support and work as a team. uh, they they always are sufficient. They don't have to look for resources from outside. Yeah. Okay. So once, if like earlier, this example I gave you is a team which is coming together for installation software, company-wide software, new software, right? So once this project is done, completed, and delivered whatever is expected of them, then the team will adjourn, right? Or we call it adjourning, where the team will then go back to the respective departments or units, and then team doesn't exist anymore. So also, this is where when adjourning was added to the model, Tuckman was thinking of there are also teams which are temporary, project-based, right? So when a team is project-based, then it's temporary. Once the project is done, they disband, they go to their respective roles and responsibilities, right? So adjourning also means mourning or termination. So this stage occurs when the team completes objectives and disbands, right? So if they have moved to the performing stage, then at the adjourning stage, they feel very um, um, happy. They feel reflect on achievement, they celebrate success, and have a experience of a sense of closure, right? They're happy that they've worked, contributed to this project. They're happy that they have been part of this team, right? So going back to this Tuckman's model, all right. So remember when a team comes together, when let's say you start a new business, you're hiring people, say you have 10 staff, in the beginning, it all looks very good, right? People are coming together and trying to be polite to each other and so on. But after a few months or so, you will see this conflict arising, due to misunderstanding, due to the roles are not clear, even objectives are not clear, then they will have this storming, right? People try to assert themselves, show their superior the others and so on. And if the leader is able to resolve the storming stage, and then they can move to the norming stage, right, where they begin to function as a team, right? The silence are broken down. They can trust each other, and then contribute, support each other and so on. Then they will norming already. If they successfully move from everything is resolved, all is good, then they will move to performing state where they actually function as a high performance team, right? And this is where the role of the leader is minimized, and the leader now is just delegated. He delegates out the roles, responsibility, and the team will perform. And this is the stage where, remember earlier we said team, high performance team, they trust each other, respect each other, they know how to resolve conflicts and so on, right? This thing. And they have the shared goal all the time. They know that they're working for a purpose, for a shared goal. All right. And remember the adjourning part here. If the adjourning means actually it's a temporary set up team, then once the objectives met, the project is done, they go back to the respective departments, units, and so on. Then the team doesn't exist when the adjourning happens. Okay. All right. So that's the Tuckman's development model. Let me see this. Okay, let me stop sharing and see what's in the yeah. Ending a chat. If you can, okay, we have 27 people in the room. That's good. So it means 24 participants. So myself, I'm a presenter. Mimi, who's coordinating this project. Also, three of us reading in AI meeting is 3 of us. So there we have 24 people in the room as participants. I don't see any question in the chat.
There is psychological safety.
How do you foster psychological safety? What kind of motivation would I give to the team to feel safe to innovate and continue with new ideas? So, psychological safety. Okay, first, psychology. I speak fast. That's the problem. Psychological safety. When you have psychological safety, means people are feel safe to admit mistakes, right? The team does not punish the member who make mistakes, right? I feel safe to say I don't know. I feel safe to say ask, can you help me? So that's the psychological safety, right? So we have to create that environment where people are free to admit mistakes, free to say I don't know, free to say help me, and things like that. So then you create this environment where people feel that they're safe to safe being in the team, right? Let's say psychological safety. The opposite of that is like, let's say if there's no psychological safety, I say, hey, sorry, I made a mistake in this project. Then the whole group will say, okay, you made a mistake, you ostracized and you punished. People laugh at you and so on. Then in the future, I will not. Even if I made a mistake, I will not admit it. I'll just pretend I don't know anything. Right. So there might be that mechanism where a place where people can say, okay, I'm safe here. If I admit I'm a mistake, nothing bad is going to happen to me, right? Earlier I mentioned this. Companies like Google and the big companies, successful team, they have. Imagine companies like Google and Microsoft, and they introduce hundreds and hundreds of projects. Some of them definitely will fail, right? Does not work, right? There's not. So it means that. So if you made a mistake, it's okay. Go to the next one, right? There won't be a big deal if you had failed because what they're doing is introducing new and newer product. That's what they do day in day out, right? So some of them never test the market, so they don't know how it will be perceived by the customers. So they don't know. So that's where the innovation and creativity comes in. Sometimes they fail, but it's okay to fail in their culture, right? Mimi said creating a safe space by having a supportive team members which starts from the leader. Yes, when a team is coming together, the leader has the responsibility to create a safe environment, right? If even him or her, the leader himself, is bashing up people, scolding people for mistakes, then the whole culture will be like that. Each will be bashing each other, blaming each other. That will happen, right? I hope you answered the question, kid. Right. So let me go to the time now. It's 11:02. We have another hour to go. All right. Okay, when you get this slide, okay, right. So this slide here explains what is Tuckman's model, application of Tuckman's model, really. Okay, so Google's cross-functional teams, right? At Google, project teams are routinely formed to tackle new product innovative. The company generally applies the Tuckman model to guide them across. Okay, let this popping up in this. Okay, so if you remember the 5 stages of a formation of a team, so the same thing in Google. When a group of people come together to introduce a new product initiative, at the forming stage, new project teams begin with structured team building activities where members are introduced, roles are defined, project goals are clarified, and so on. This early focus on relationship building is a strong foundation of collaboration. Remember, if this is also where we say, sometimes companies organize like team building activities, offsite activities, so on. The purpose is this: so the people come together, form a team, as forming stage. They minimize the conflicts and misunderstandings and so on, right? So that's how Google is forming stage, right? So what they do, have team building activities at the beginning, where the members are introduced, roles are defined, project goals are clarified as well. So at this stage, project goals are clarified as well. Then they have this move the storming stage, where as the team starts working, different set of opinions, working style emerge, right? Each of us have, each members will have different way of thinking. Each of them will have different way of doing things. Working styles will change. Then Google encourage open dialogue and constructive conflict, right? So, I mean, openly, if you disagree, openly say it so, in a polite way, in a constructive way. Also resolve conflict, if any, constructively. So allowing team members to address issues early. Okay, so leaders facilitate resolution, help team move forward. Okay, so once they pass the storming stage, then they move to the norming stage. Okay, so at this stage, the Google team members have shared norms and processes. They are building trust and aligning how to work together. Right, members become more comfortable sharing feedback, and team develops a unified approach to problem solving. So basically, norming they have already resolved most of the conflict, the storming part, and now they're coming together. They try to build trust, align each other's goals. Okay, and they also becoming comfortable sharing their feedback and also collectively solving problems. Okay, as the trust and process are clear, they now go into the performance stage, right? They achieve peak performance where they have strong innovation, efficiency, and ability to deliver complex projects on time. And here the leadership style becomes more hands-off, right? Supporting autonomy and self-organization, meaning the leader, whoever the leader of the project or the VP or general manager, then he'll be less, they won't be much micromanaging, right? He'll be hands-off, let the team manage itself, help the team itself will come together and work on together, and also they have autonomy and to make decisions, and they self-organize as they move forward, right? And once that team the projects come to an end, then the adjourning, right? After project's completion, teams celebrate achievements and conduct debriefs and so on. So at this stage, they come together and say share the success and what can be improved. And members are recognized for the contribution and transition to new project, making sure they can now move to another project, transition to a new project, ensuring knowledge transfer and continued growth and so on. So that's the adjourning part. Okay, so that's the Google's cross-functional team. The second one, so let me do this. So the second here, so imagine this Tuckman's model came out in 1965, very long time ago, right? And companies like Google and Microsoft still looking at this model because they're quite a comprehensive model explaining how a team moves from forming to high performance, right? They explains that, right? So it's a structured application Tuckman stages to move from position to address, build position, address challenges, and achieve high level of innovation and efficiency, right? So that's the application at Google. The second case study actually is a local one, and when I do a presentation, I always looking for local case study, and I found this on AIM, which is Amanah Ikhtiar Malaysia, a Malaysian microcredit organization. Okay, so if you have no microcredit, there's a called Grameen Bank in Bangladesh. They were the pioneer of the idea many years ago. The current leader of the Bangladesh temporary government is Professor Yunus, and he was the founder of the Grameen Bank, right? So there are other organizations around the world who copied or what Grameen does. So Amanah Ikhtiar Malaysia is an organization which does microfinance just like Grameen Bank, meaning it gives microcredit. Microcredit means like small amount of loans to participants to work to form businesses and so on. Okay, so at AIM, Amanah Ikhtiar Malaysia, they did a study how they work together. All right, so there were 170 AIM participants from 7 centers in Hulu Langat district, right? And they evaluated teamwork process using Tuckman stage, right? So when they applied these Tuckman stages, they found this at the forming stage, new groups are established as participants join the scheme. Members were introduced, learn about the group's objectives, and began building initial relationships, right? The forming part. Okay. As they move from moving to storming, then the group start working together, conflicts and disagreements starts once in a while or occasionally, right? Over roles, repayment responsibilities, and group decisions as well. Right. Remember, this microcredit is a micro loan. So it means the participants have to pay back, right? So they are responsible for repaying the money as well. So at this stage, they had regular meetings and adhere to AIMS rules and regulations, right? So the members of this team, they know what the responsibilities are, meaning they pay repayment of the loans, and they also know that they have to have repayment responsibility. So they adhere to the AIMS rules. Okay, then they go to the norming stage. So over time, members who are in this Amanah Ikhtiar Malaysia's project develop mutual trust and establish clear group norms. Okay, often motivated by weekly meetings, compulsory savings, and need for a collective accountability. Earlier at the what do you call it? At the storming stage, we said they had this issues about repayments and or roles and things like that. So they had regular meetings. So at the norming stage, they had weekly meetings, compulsory savings, and also need for collective accountability as well, right? So the weekly meetings helps them to move to the norming stage, right? So as they do what they're doing, weekly meetings and do police service and so on, then they go to forming stage where mature groups demonstrate high level of cooperation, efficient loan repayments, and mutual support, right? Strong teamwork enable AIM to achieve its goals and maintain high success rates among participants, right? And then as the loan, the borrowers or people in the Amanah Ikhtiar microcredit teamwork, as they repay the loan, the members will complete their loan cycles or improve their economic situation, groups expanded and reform new members. So meaning that as the loan is repaid, the cycle is improved and so on. So then this group is disbanded or reformed with new members. Then they admit new members to the team, right? So the outcome of this study was the study found that most AM groups successfully progressed through all Tuckman stages where with high frequencies of informing, like 71.9%, storming 92.5%, and then forming at 86.9%. Right? This structured team development contributed to AIM's reputation as one of Malaysia's most successful microcredit schemes. Right? So if a team has moved from 71% at the forming, 72% at the forming stage, they've moved to 87% at the forming stage. That's good improvement, right? So that's the outcome from the AIM case study. Okay. Let's go to the next one. Okay, the next case study under this is the company called Nulab which is a software development team in Japan. Okay, so again, just like Google and Microsoft, they are always introducing new products, services to the market. So again, Nulab is a software company, meaning they're always developing new software versions, right? And so how they apply Tuckman's model, they create teams for new projects with members introduce initial goals defined. Early meetings focus on clarifying roles and building rapport. So that's the forming stage, right? So again, a group of people from different functions are coming together for this project. So as the team begins to work, they will have difference in technical opinions and work style, and then of course conflicts and so on. So the leaders will facilitate open discussions, resolve conflicts, and align expectations. Storming stage. Okay, then it will come to the norming stage, where the team established working norms, communication routines, and shared practices, right? Members become more comfortable collaborating and productivity improves. Okay, that's the norming stage. Then if the norming stage works, then they can move to the performing stage, right? Where with strong trust and clear passages, the team operates at peak efficiency and delivering high quality software and meeting project milestones. Okay, so the performance stage. So they've moved from norming to the performance already, where they have trust and the processes are clear. Sorry, go to this. And also the team operates peak efficiency and deliver high quality software, meeting the project milestones and so on, right? So as this is a temporary team coming together for a software project. So again, this project will be a journey. So once the project's completed, the team disbands, celebrate achievements, and document lesson learned for future teams, right? So this team then break, and then team will disperse to their own functional work, and then another team will be formed for another project, right? So NULAB's structured use of Tuckman's model helps bond outcome challenges, achieve high performance on. So if you're in a work environment, if you're forming a team, always remember these steps in Tuckman's model, right? If you form a team of say 10 people in your company for a project, from different departments, different units, you will have this issue. And remember that the team will go through these 5 steps, 5 stages, right? From forming to performing and adjourning. So if you have this at the storming stage, you see a lot of conflicts and arguments and fights and so on. So the leader must be able to resolve that, right? Only then they can move to the storming stage. If it's not resolved at the storming stage, then very likely the whole environment will be very toxic, and they will not perform and deliver as promised, right? They will not move to the norming stage, and they will not move into performing stage, right? Then they get stuck in there and continue being very toxic and so on. Yeah, so that's as a leader, forming a team, must be very aware of that, right? So also remember that we have started recording. Thank you. So remember that if you form a team and then they go into the storming stage, remember there's a normal process that they have to go through, right? When you form a team, everybody is being polite, very ideal, and everybody is trying to be nice to each other. You will not see much of that conflicts. But as they start working together, they will see these misunderstandings and different styles will emerge, right? Then you see this storming stage, right? So don't surprise that if it happens, just that remember it's normal to happen. As a leader, just step in and resolve these conflicts. Have open discussions and regular meetings, regular get-together, so that they understand each other, right? That's the storming stage, right? So every time you have this forming a team, remember the Tuckman model. Having conflicts, having a storming stage is normal. It will happen. Then let's NULAB, right? So under this second section of the presentation, there's another framework called GRPI. GRPI, right? The GRPI stands for goals, roles, processes, and interpersonal relationships, right? Basically saying that if you have this framework, it helps to diagnose and enhance team effectiveness, specifically in high performance environment. So to create a high performance team, you have to focus on these things. What are the goals? What are the roles? Focus on processes and interpersonal relationship. If you have these 4 elements, it's easier to form a high performance team. Okay, so this framework is developed in 1972 by Richard Beckhardt. I think at the clock 11:18. It provides a structured approach to aligning team around shared objectives, clarifying responsibilities, streamlining workflows, and fostering collaboration. Right. So it has 4 parts. Which the first one is goals, talking about what the team wants to achieve. Second thing, roles, what needs to be done and who will do it. The roles and responsibilities, and then processes, how the team collaborates and communicates. Number 4, interpersonal relationship, how the team members interact on a personal level. Okay, let's look at this framework. I want to see whether there's any push on the shed.
We have two questions, one from Mozilla. Can you provide examples on how we initiate planning, developing high performance team, and from Muna as well?
Okay, so Rosila's question, can you provide examples on how do we initiate planning, developing our team? Initiative program can be 6 months or 1 year. Okay, first one, Rosila's question. Okay, so remember that at the storming of the norming stage, people are coming together. Sorry. What have I done? Well done. All right. So at the forming stage, people are just coming together, right? If it's a temporary team or they just know each other, then this is why companies do like team building exercises, retreats, and so on, so they can come together and understand each other how each behave, right? And if it's done well, the team building a retreat run well or done thoughtfully, then it will help members of the team to understand each other's objective, right? So I'm not saying that it has to be like sometime in Bali or something, but a place where people come together and share their objectives, the goals, the values, what is important for them, things like that. Then they will have to form a good team, right, at the farming stage, so that at the storming stage, the conflicts will much reduce, right? Very likely there will be some misunderstanding and because of different styles and objectives and so on, right? That will happen. But at least you minimize that. So the question: can you provide examples of how do we initiate planning, developing high performance team? Program, can it be in 6 months or 1 year? So it can be, I cannot give you a time frame like 6 months, right? But you have to bring people together very, very frequently. It can be earlier, one of the Amanah Ikhtiar project, we see that they have weekly meetings. All right. So if people work in silos, they didn't come together, don't talk to each other, it's very difficult for them to communicate and collaborate, right? So there must be a system, mechanism, say every Friday, 4 o'clock to 5 o'clock, at end of the week, last 1 hour, 1.5 hours before they go home for the weekend, they come together and see what have they achieved, what the objectives are, share their objectives, the goals, and then share the values and so on. So it's a frequent meeting coming together. If you have this get together and every time you just coming together and just talk about project progress, the underlying conflicts are not resolved, underlying communications are not resolved, right? So be continuously percolating, it's like boiling underneath, and one day it's going to explode, right? So my view on this is have regular meetings, weekly meetings, monthly meeting. So people come together, not only talk about the project, but also about other things like what is important for them, what is their values, what is their priority in life, for instance, right? What they want to go, what they want to be in 5 years' time, 10. So you understand how they think as well. And also understand their style of doing things. Are they very democratic? Are they very assertive, non-assertive, and things like that? So understand each other. I hope I answered your question, Rosila. Next question is from Muna. What if the leader already provides a safe space? However, one of the team member reluctant to change, reluctant to adapt, how to handle this? Okay, every organization will have this, right? If you hear people, if you read about companies like Google, whatever, Petronas and so on, they will be like a group of people, maybe, I don't know, 1% or 10% who are the minority, will have these issues, right? They will have this. So if you have a team of the bell curve, right? Say you have 100 people, I know 10 performance, yeah, ready, always ready to go, and the best, high performance team have shared goals and very clear what they want to achieve. Then you have the middle, I don't know, say 80%, right? 80% in the middle who are somewhere there, but they'll be at the lower 80 or high 80. So this can be managed well. If they manage well, they can perform as well. Any of this, the other extreme 10% will be non-performing, right? That will happen, right? And this is where you have, as a leader, you take action. Either remove them from the project, or have coaching sessions with them, mentoring session with them, want to do one-to-one session with them, so they can see, share the common goals of the team, right? You will have these problems, right? So this is where the coaching and mentoring helps to bring people together and resolve issues or problems, right? And one-to-two meetings and so on. So I hope I'm answering your question, Munaf, right? So although the leader have created the space, there will be this, I don't know, the odd one or two people will be a problem, right? That has to be individually solved. Okay, right. So there's no other question. I will go to the page. Okay, so we looked at a Nula Japan, a company, software company in Japan, right? That's the third case study in the deck. All right, so we talk about GRPI as well. So GRPI stands for goals, roles, process, and interpersonal, right? So basically, the justification for the GRP model is if the goals, roles, process, and interpersonal relationships are clear, then they will be able to work effectively as a team. They can work collaboratively as a team, have high performance team as well. That's the justification or the reasoning behind the framework. All right. So if you look at the goals, we'll go to each of them very quickly. Time is 11:25. So at the goal stage, basically the goal defines the team's purpose, objectives, measurable outcome. So the goal must be very specific, measurable, aligned with organizational priorities, right? So if the goals are clear, you can reduce about 80% of the conflict, right? 80% of conflict arises because the goals are not clear, right? That's the thing. So clear goals eliminate ambiguity, ensuring all members work together the same outcome, right? And then we talk about the SMART goals. You must have heard this many times. When team with SMART goals, specific, measurable, relevant, time bound, are 10 to 25% more productive. For example, a pharmaceutical team aiming to launch a new drug in 12 months with 90%, 5% regulatory compliance has a concrete target to rally around, right? So the goals must be very specific. So in this case, this pharmaceutical company launching a new drug in 12 months. So it's not open-ended, whenever you feel like it kind of thing. And it says it's 90%, 95% regulatory compliance, right? So that's the SMART goals they have, very specific. It's specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, time-bound, or so. Yeah. So the goals connect individual contributions to organizational goals, success, boosting engagement, and accountability. That's the goals alignment clarity. The second part of the GRPI framework is this roles, right? So in this context, roles clarify each member's task, authority, and decision-making power, preventing overlaps and gaps. So when the roles are clear to the members, then they know what their role is, they know what their responsibilities are, they know what is authority they have, and they also know how much what limitation they have in terms of decision making, and also prevents overlaps and gaps as well. Okay. So impact on high performance, accountability, defined roles, reduce confusion, improve efficiency by 25%. So for example, in a software development, separating coding, testing, and client communication roles prevents bottlenecks, right? So everybody in this case knows who is doing coding, who's doing testing, and who is doing client communication, prevents bottlenecks, so that they know what each of them are supposed to perform or deliver. Okay, so the second point is leveraging strength. So high-performing teams assign roles based on expertise, ensuring tasks align with individual strength. So means that the roles assigned to a person is based on his strength, based on his expertise, right? That's the other one, but roles, right? And also the last one, clarity on authority. Clear decision-making authority leads project manager approve final designs, accelerates workflows, and reduce power struggles. So when the roles are clear, each member of the team knows what they have to do, what they're allowed to do, also how much authority they have. So in this example of example given here, project manager approves of final design. So not the junior staff, but the project manager approves final stages. And it also means that does not go to the senior, VP or CEO or things like that. Yeah, that's the roles are clear. Then we have processes. So the workflows in this context are very very obvious, very clear. Processes are the agreed upon methods of communication, decision-making, task execution, right? So impact on our performance, streamline execution. So standardized processes, so agile sprints, approval workflows, minimize delays and errors, right? So example given here, a customer service team using a three-step escalation process resolve issues faster, right? And also conflict resolution, define process for addressing disagreements. Example, consensus-based voting prevent unresolved conflicts from derailing progress. And the last one, adaptability. High-performance teams regularly defines processes to stay agile, such as adopting new project management tools for remote collaboration. Right, that's the third one on the GRPI. The last one is interpersonal relationships, trust. Again, see the word trust come up again, and the word collaboration comes in again, right? So interpersonal relationship focus on trust, human communication, psychological safety again within the team. Okay, so teams with strong relationships are 50% more likely to innovate as members feel safe and sharing bold ideas. Then open communication feedback loops help resolve issues constructively. For example, Google's Project Aristotle we shared earlier found psychological safety to be the top predictor of team success. Okay. The last one, resilient teams. Trust enables team to navigate setbacks without blame or maintaining focus on goals. All right. Okay. Time now is 11:31. Okay. When you get this slide, you can also look at this case study involving a multinational company marketing team applying the GRPI framework. Okay. All right. So, so that's about the GRPI framework, right? Introduced by Richard Beckhardt. Right? So the first model just now, the 5 stages by Tuckman tells you the stages a team has to go through to be successful, to be a high-performing team, right? So if one of them is missing, or rather, if it doesn't move from one stage to another, for instance, they're stuck at the storming stage forever, then it'll be very difficult to achieve the objective. They will not move to high performance team very likely, right? Where it become very toxic and the whole project will fail, right? And this framework tells you what are the ingredients, what are things you must have to be a successful team. Okay, let me stop sharing and look at the chat group first. Okay, I don't see any questions in the chat. Okay, we have about 30 minutes. Let me share the next model, which is the third part of the presentation. Okay, diagnosing barriers to team performance, right? So basically, we talk about what are the ingredients you must have for a team to be successful, to be a high performance team, become a high performance team, right? So we can also look from another point of view. What is the barrier to a high performance team? What will stop them, right? Another way of looking at it from the opposite side. So we have this model called, actually, the name Lencioni, actually I was checked it, Lencioni. It's not Lencioni, right? Lencioni, I checked it earlier. It's pronounced Lencioni's 5 Dysfunctions of a Team Model. All right. So Lencioni wrote this book, which is in the slide, 5 Dysfunctions of a Team. Actually, it tells you or tells us that what are the things that makes a team dysfunctional, does not or fail rather, right? So if you know what are the 5 dysfunctions, we also know, then we look at opposite side of that. What are the ingredients that makes a team successful or function well, right? That's what Patrick Lencioni's model tried to tell us. Okay, so so Patrick Lencioni's 5 dysfunction of a team model identify the fundamental obstacles that prevent teams from achieving high performance. Earlier we talked about trust, we talked about collaboration, communication, right? Just from looking from another point of view. So it's structured as a pyramid where Each dysfunction builds upon the previous one. Right, let's look at so this is the cover of the book. I have a copy in my bookshelf here as well. Okay, so if you look at the purple side of the diagram here, right? So this was the uh, 5 dysfunctions or whatever characteristics of a dysfunctional team, right? So in the purple side here, which is on your right hand side. So the first one is the absence of trust, right? So you know that to have a high performance team, there must be trust. We earlier talked about earlier. So not having trust or absence of trust means one ingredient is missing for a high performance team. Second is fear of conflict. So if they don't have a mechanism to solve conflicts, then very likely the team will become dysfunctional, right? So this is where, you remember the storming part of the 5 stages in Tuckman's model. So if the leader, if the team can't resolve the conflicts, right, then it becomes dysfunctional. Now you can relate to see how the Tuckman's model of 5 stages now relates to this model of Lencioni's dysfunctional team model, right? So there must be a mechanism to resolve these conflicts. Okay. And also, having conflict is not in itself, it's not negative. It's just that how we resolve the conflicts. There must be conflict, because if not, they're all just pretending to be nice to each other, right? There will be conflicts, and it's a positive thing to have conflicts, and so long it's resolved constructively, right? So normal to have conflicts, right? If you think like if you don't have a conflict, it means they're trying to be nice to each other, and everything, all the frustration and anger, all is buried underneath, and one day it's going to explode, right? The third element in insurance model is this lack of commitment. So now you have team members who are not committed to the objectives of the organization or team's objective, right? They're not committed to what the team want to achieve. Okay. Then the fourth one, avoidance of accountability. So people don't want to take accountable. They don't want to be accountable for what they do, and they're also not accountable what the team's objectives as well. So avoidance of accountability, right? And the fifth one, inattention to results, or not focus on results, right? So they're not focused on results. They are not focused on the objectives, the goals of the organization, right? So that's the purple side of things. This is what Lencioni said about the dysfunction of a team, the 5 things. So if you look at the opposite of that, it will be the green part, the cohesive team, where there's trust, right? The first one, trust. There are conflicts, but it's resolved constructively, right? And then there's commitment. People must commit to the objectives, the goals the organization want to achieve, and they're accountable to what they do, right? There's accountability, and they are focused on results, right? The opposite of the inattention result. Now, these team members are focused on results, right? So if you look at this purple side, which Lencioni's book describes, then you can take the opposite of that is the green part here. Trust, resolving conflicts constructively, and having commitment, accountable, and also results as well. That's a 5 model. So if you understand this, now you can relate to this, some of this what is stated in the insurance model, for instance, like it's not trust. Right from the beginning, we said trust is one of the elements for high performance team. Lack of trust means they don't trust each other. They can't work as a high performance team. Conflicts as well. There will be conflicts. How do we resolve that constructively? That's there must be a constructive, there must be a mechanism to resolve conflicts, right? And also, members will be committed to the objectives of the firm, of the company, right? Accountable, and also focus on results, right? That's the service model. So the next few slides just explains this model. So if you look at let's look at this part here, right? This function of a team from the service model. You look from the bottom to top. If there is lack of trust, means they hide mistakes. If I don't trust my team members, I will hide mistakes, right? I will make assumptions. I hold grudges. I'm upset with somebody saying something. I'll hold grudges, right? So there must be trust. So a team become dysfunctional if there's a lack of trust. Okay, and then fear of conflict, right? When there's a conflict, people avoid problems, don't confront issues or behaviors, right? So that's another factor for this of dysfunctional team, right? There's when there are misunderstanding or bad behavior is not addressed at that point, then becomes become toxic also, right? Next, commitment. So one thing, can you keep discussing the same thing over and over, meaning not focused on the objective, won't commit to work or to do what they have to do, and clear objectives and priorities, the commitment part. If we look at under accountability, poor performance is tolerated, right? So if they say somebody is not accountable what they deliver, then that is tolerated. It's okay to do that, right? And then lack of ownership from the team and objectives are missed as well, right? And then results at the end of the day for a dysfunctional team, high team turnover, members come and go, right? And those who stay are poor performance. The good ones will leave because they are not happy. They will go, and what is left is a poor performance. And end of the day, they are focused on their own results, not the team's results, right? Not looking at the team's objectives, but actually their own results. Okay, so if you look at the opposite on the left-hand side, if you look at the trust on the bottom, it says that to create trust, they ask for help, share weaknesses, and help each other, believe whoever one or is trying to dare, beat, and so on, right? If there are conflicts, have healthy team debates, work out solutions to issues together, challenge poor behavior quickly, right? If somebody is like slacking off or they don't behave well, and that's addressed very quickly before it becomes toxic, right? In terms of commitment, objectives are clear and prioritized, and there's a buy-in from all the team members, and all members are fully engaged, right? In the context of accountability, poor performance is dealt with, meaning if say one or two members are slacking, not performing, then those members are taken aside and have a conversation with them, maybe have a coaching session with them, maybe even a mentoring session with them. So it's not tolerated as such, right? Just now Mona asked this question on this, right? So this is where if one or two people don't perform or don't deliver, then you have to pull them aside and have a chat with them, right? That's one. Okay, then the fourth one, high performing team here on the left hand side again. Members are highly motivated and they have a stable team, right? And they constantly hit their objective result, and overall they focus on team result, not individual result or personal results, right? So if you look at this whole model now, and you also relate to what the first part of the presentation was, the second part of the presentation was, now you can actually put all of them together and see, okay, this makes sense, right? It's not going opposite of what was said earlier. You're just summarizing what was said earlier, right? So the next few slides, time is 11:42. All right, so this slide, I will go through this quickly. Okay, so this model talks about, so this Lencioni's dysfunction of a team model says one of the first one is absence of trust. And for Lencioni's point of view, trust is one of the foundational, lack of trust is one of the foundational dysfunction. If a team members cannot trust each other, you will have major problem later on, right? And secondly, fear of conflict, right? Like I was saying, having conflicts are healthy as long as it's resolved constructively. Okay. When trust is lacking, team members avoid healthy, constructive feedback. So when there's a trust, then people will come together and resolve the misunderstanding constructively. Okay. Okay. So what will happen sometimes is instead of engaging in debates about ideas and issues, team members will settle for artificial harmony, pretending everything's okay, hunky-dory and so on, and everybody's supposedly happy, and all the misunderstandings and issues are buried underneath. right? And when it becomes gossips and behind the discuss that when they go to they tarik, that's where they discuss the issues, not at the work environment. Okay, and these problems are unresolved and also lead to poor decision making. Okay, and also when there's absolute trust, also it prevents for people from giving their views, giving their viewpoints and so on. Okay, the third item on the 5 essential of a team model is lack of commitment. So people are not committed to what they achieve to achieve. Lack of commitment, they create ambiguity, lack of clarity about direction and priorities. Team members may feign agreement but fail to commit, and so on. So they don't really commit to what is required of them, right? And then the fourth item, avoidance of accountability. If commitment is weak, then it also means that team members hesitate to hold each other accountable for behaviors, performance under the team's goals and so on. This avoidance leads to lowered standards, tolerance of counterproductive actions, and so on. Yeah, erodes discipline, team effectiveness. And fifth item, inattention to results. So they're not focused on results. The ultimate dysfunction occurs when team members put the individual needs, such as ego, career development, or departmental success ahead of the collective goal of the team. Right. So overall, this will lead to poor results as the team lose focus on what truly matters, achieving shared outcomes and so on. Yeah, that's the Lencioni's 5 distance of a team model. Okay, right. If you scroll the slides when you get it later, let me just summarize this. So, summary of the model's logic is this: trust enables open conflict. So when I trust people, then I can confront people in my team to say that I disagree with you. I view your behavior does not contribute positively to the team and so on. Right? Trust enables open conflict. Conflict enables commitment. It creates commitment from team members, and commitment enables accountability. If I'm committed to the team's results, then I'm accountable to work for the results as well. Accountable as the result, and accountability drives focus on collective results as well. Right. So, so these are the logic of the model. Okay, right. Time now is 11:46. Okay, if you read this book, one of the case studies included in the book is this company called Decision Tech. It's an IT firm in US. So this is one of the case studies in the book as well. So when you look at it, let me look at, before I proceed, we have time is 11:46. Let me see if there's anything in the chat. Okay, question from Rosilla. Is conducting a high-performing team assessment important? If so, what are some effective practical methods that can be used to assess team? Okay, so one is conducting high-performance assessment. Okay, there are many quite a number of assessment tools out there, right? So like DIC and the common one is DIC, right? There are a few others as well. But what is more important is this bringing people together. Having this assessment is good, right? It definitely helps to understand each other. But it also must be a way to bring these people together and sit down together and share their ideas and goals and vulnerability and so on, right? Because sometimes what will happen is assessment says one thing, okay, this guy is like this, is focused on results and so on. But in real life, when they come together as a group, they don't function well, right? At the personal level, they might be high performer. They might be really good at what they do. But once they come as a team, they focus on their own priorities, their own goals, own result. They not focus on the team's performance, right? That can be a problem as well. So, yeah, assessment helps, but you also have to see how they function as a team member. Okay, that's okay. Rosilla's question. I hope I answered the question, Rosilla. Suresh, Dr. Khairul, you appreciate you can share your slides today. Yes, we will be sharing the slides to you. Like Mimi answered. Yeah, after the session, we will email all the slides to you. Definitely the whole entire deck. Okay, we'll email to you. All right. If you have any question, you can key it here. Time is 11:48. I'm glad we have 26 members participant in the group, which means like 23 at the moment, right? Three of us, myself, Mimi, and we have three of us who are admin of the workshop. So it's I'm quite happy that we have 23. So we have about 10 minutes to go. I just go through the slides again. I won't cover everything. Just tell you what is in there. So the case study, the first case study given here is this a company called Decision Tech. Actually, this is in the Patrick Lencioni's book as well. It's a story, right? Actually, this company is based in US. It's a tech company and so on, right? It's that technology startup. When they started, they have struggling to achieve despite being talented. You know, just now I think Rosilla asked a question, right? Sometimes as an individual, people are good at what they do. They are the smartest alike in town, right? But when put these smart people together, then they can't work. They can't work as a team, right? Very often that happens, right? The best accountant in town, best design in town, or they individually the brilliant mind, right? But when they come to the team, they don't want to work with people. So that will be an issue, right? This had to be addressed as well. Okay, so this company is underperforming the market and so on. So they did they look at how this team functioned, and so you see this if you look at the background here, it says Leisure Tech, a technology startup, was struggling despite having a talented executive team, strong financial backing, and superior technology. Means they have what they need, right? It's talented team members, good financial backing, and also good technology, superior technology. And yet they do not function well, right? So yeah, having all that doesn't mean the company is going to be successful, right? So how the manifestation of 5 dysfunction, as we said, team members were reluctant to admit mistakes and weaknesses, leading to guarded interaction, right? And there was lack of trust among them, fear of conflict. Executives avoided passionate debates and difficult conversations, right? And there was lack of commitment. Issues are not openly discussed and resolved, so team members rarely bought into these decisions, right? I was saying earlier, if these conflicts are not resolved, it will be there. It will be only that you won't see it. It will be hidden underneath, and once it will pop up, and you will see that people are not committed, and they are not focused on results and so on. Yeah, that's one. And also avoidance of accountability. And lastly, inattention to results or not focusing on result. Okay. Okay. So in the end of the day, each members only it's their own goal or only career advancement. Only depend on the departmental agenda, not overall the company's target and so on. So in the end of the day, the company miss targets and lose market share as well. Okay, that's the first case study. Then you have another case study, which is Asia Tech startup company. What do you call this? This company's name is not revealed, right? When I read the book, so it just says startup company in Asia, right? Also, all right. So in this case, this case they have the same problem. So the third paragraph, the CEO decided to address the situation using Patrick Lencioni's 5 dysfunctional team model. All right. Then it tells you the story of this company called Asia Tech startup. Okay. 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 Then you have this company called retail company. Actually, it's a Tesco. Which it's not Malaysia anymore. They were open in China. You know, China having their own cultures and norms. There were a lot of trust issues in the company, right? So when Tesco went to China, they had these problems there as well, right? And then so Tesco as a company took several steps to address the trust issue. There was leadership change and culture shift. They replaced the CEO, make changes to the corporate culture and so on. They empowered local management. Initially, Tesco was a British company, UK-based company. So they installed the local management team so that empowering them as well. And then the customer engagement adjustments, question openness and communication and so on, right? And so you can look at this sentence. Okay, let me stop sharing at the moment. See any? Okay, so there's no other questions that I don't see. Right, so time now is 11:54. There are a few things I want to do. Let me share my screen again. Okay. All right. So the first thing is this is a QR code for you to give a feedback, right? So there's two QR code. First, this one is your feedback form. Maybe your mic is turned off. So this is the feedback code to give your feedback on the session today. If you have not registered, use this QR code to register. In case you came late just now, you have to register because only then we can key in your attendance. Yep. Only then we can key in your attendance, and then you'll be HRDC. You can download the certificate. Otherwise, you can't download certificate. So we have to manually key in your attendance in the HRDC website. Okay. So it's important for you to register for attendance purpose today. All right. So, and then we also have this. Sorry. All right. So for your information, this program today workshop is organized by MAPS Training and Consultancy Services. So I'm in the number 6 in this slide, extreme right. That's me, and there are few others in the team as well. Right. So this is my second workshop in this National Training Week. Right. Okay. So time is 11:55. Let's take a photo. Maybe if you're ready.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Thanks for Okay, guys, I am so sorry because after everything else, I forgot to press record again until half an hour. So I share the slides with you guys lah. You can, they have the recording is also okay, but then this like, I think the first 20-25 minutes. Oh my God, I'm so sorry. So Anuar, did you press record just now?
I know. Okay.
Sorry, guys, my bad. Okay, you continue on.
Okay, if you're ready, we can take a photo.
Okay, we give, let's say about 2 minutes for everyone to just on the camera if you can.
Please turn on your camera so we can capture your. This helps us to verify your attendance as well. Easier for us.
Yeah. I want to cross check with this photo. I hope you find the session useful. Anyone joining tonight, sir? Okay, yeah, I think we can take photo lah. Anyone else gonna on the camera? Tak ada ah? Alright, okay, ready. 1, 2, and 3. Satna. We can go. Jap. Oh, okay, we go freestyle.
Okay. Or freestyle. Also,
Freestyle.
hour as well, yeah.
You nak buka tu kan? Kejap, we do freestyle and then one lah kot. You on the slide, yeah.
Okay. So done with the freestyle.
Oh, yeah. You on presentation slide. Take together with the freestyle.
Freestyle macam ni.
Okay, ready? Freestyle. 1, 2, and
Okay.
3. Jap, again. Oh, shit. Sorry. Okay, 1, 2, and 3. Alright.
Okay. So let me share my screen again, so you can take a photo with the cover of the presentation. Right. So if you're ready, you can take it now.
Yeah, hold on. Give me a minute. I don't know whether the laptop is lagging or I am lagging. Okay, again, 1, 2, and 3. We're good. Okay.
Okay, thank you. I'll stop sharing.
Mhm.
So on my part, I'm very thankful for Mimi of MAPS Training and Consulting Services to organize this workshop online. And also all of you, all the participants who came today. I hope this presentation was useful for you, the workshops for you. Understand what actually happens in your work environment, right? If there are conflicts, lack of trust, and issues like that, you know why is your team is performing. You can understand. Look at these issues presented today, right? All right. So that's
chat box. You can help us drop a review of this session. You can put rating if you don't want to write so much, right? Anyways, from my side, from MAPS Training, we appreciate especially those return, I would say return customer lah kot. Return participants who have been with us since the 2nd of June for the past, I would say, 7 programs. And having you guys on board and your support really means a lot to me. And I hope the rest of you would have a good learning throughout this month of June under the NTW. Right, so that's from me. Dr. Anuar, last words.
So my last words, thank you everyone for coming to this workshop. I hope you have you learned something today and something to take to your organization and implement, and also understand if you have people who are not performing, your team members are not performing, understand why it's happening, right? I hope this workshop helps you to understand the situation, right? So thank you very much again for coming to the workshop. I hope this was useful for you. Thank you.
So please, if you're new to NTW, what is going to happen after today, finish our session, give me till end today to update your attendance on the NTW platform. After that, what you need to do is you need to complete the TEE assessment, submit that, and then it will generate your certificate for this program. All right, so that's going to happen. Then we'll send you email with our beautiful photos and slides. I think recording tak payah, we just simpan sebab half kan. And then hopefully session will finish on the 18th of June. I will extend training batches to all of you who supported us throughout this month. I will keep you posted. I will send a separate email once we wrap up everything. All right. And I wish you all the best. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Have a good day.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna log out, yeah? Thanks, Atano.
Thank you. Yeah. Wait for this to leave. So the slides I will send to you. Bagi dalam 10 minutes, I will send to you.
Boleh kan? You're welcome, Sharudin.